Trending burning question. Powered by XUV400 and Cool Fans.
Starting the trending burning question tonight with full focus on what's really happening in Pakistan. Pakistan now goes with a begging bowl to other countries looking for some sort of a help. But look at the condition, ladies and gentlemen. Week after week, it is only sliding down the slope. Broke Pakistan has now announced rationalization of the foreign mission abroad. This has been announced as part of their austerity measures. Pakistan Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif ordered the foreign ministry to reduce their offices. Not just that, staff, and initiate other measures to cut down expenditures of the debt-ridden nation by 15%. These austerity measures were finalized during a federal cabinet meeting as the country reels with daunting economic challenges. And while inflation has rocketed, what is turning out is that they now have to cut electricity in malls. Not just that, sell off their embassies. And it does not end there. They are saying that we do not have enough money to feed our own soldiers. But despite that, ladies and gentlemen, what's really happening is that the terror factory still continues in Pakistan. Latest images that have come in of Syed Salahuddin walking freely inside Pakistan, that too with security guards of Pakistan. That is one of the primary reasons why you're looking at Pakistan in a current situation like this. Take a look at this report and then we begin the trending burning question.
First food, then power crisis in Pakistan. No solution even after IMF's visit to broke Pakistan. And now, Pak PM has announced slew of austerity measures. The broke Pakistan has slashed diplomatic centres. Ministers, state ministers and special advisors to the Premier decided to forego their salaries and perks.
Telling you the ground reality that the Prime Minister who used to give example of the European leader that they goes to their office on the cycle. This Prime Minister we have seen in the past, Pakistani Prime Minister used to fly from his residence to his office by chopper, and hardly it was just 7-minute drive from his lavish residence in Banigala to Prime Minister office. Now tell me, you have asked me a question that Mr. Klasa, is this possible, practically possible? Yes, this is possible, but you have to become role model for the nation. First, you have to apply the rule on yourself.
The move came after increasing frustration among the political members of the federal cabinet. The announcement also comes as Pakistan is eyeing a staff-level agreement with the IMF this week. Bureau Report, Republic TV.
Joining us on the trending burning question tonight are General Rajan Kochar, General Dhruv Katoch, Raja Faisal joining us from Islamabad, and Imran Jan, columnist, political analyst, joining us from Texas. Opening up the debate tonight is Raja Faisal and General Rajan Kochar. Raja Faisal, when a country basically has to go to Rothschild, do you understand what's the message like?
Well, all I can say is I think the proper steps are being taken by the government, but it's too late now. If we look at the government's policy since the day one they have came into the office, I think they have not been, allowed to somehow, or we can say that they were very late to wake up to counter all the problems which were being faced by our economy. If we look at our economy, of course, there are deep-rooted problems within our economy. Priorities are very odd. When I say priorities are very odd, Pakistan being an agricultural country, agriculture has been ignored in the recent past. And if we look at, floods, they already, piled up the problems in Pakistan. But right now, I think Pakistan needs to make better choices, needs to focus on agriculture sector, needs to focus less on the real estate sector, because land which should be used in an agricultural country for agriculture, acres of land
But
has been given
can
to
I actually tell
housing
you,
societies and all of the
Raja
DHAs
Faisal,
and
Raja
all of the
Faisal, Raja
areas.
Faisal,
So it
this
is
long-winded
adding
response does not
into
really
the
work.
problems.
Let me just tell you, Raja Faisal, just about an hour ago, Raja Faisal, hear me out. Just an hour ago, the IMF director spoke out. The IMF director has warned your country that this cannot go on. The fact of the matter is that a bailout package cannot be given to you, because at the end of the day, what is going to happen is that you really do not have a roadmap forward. And let me just add one more point, Raja Faisal. There is a reason behind it. While you have always ignored, but let us once again give you a reality check. When you have the CEO of a terror factory, the CEO who has only exported terror, a man called Said Salahuddin, then the manufacturing is only terror. That is all that you do. That is mostly what you have been doing. And that is exactly why you've reached this situation. General Rajan Kochhar is going to also join us. General Rajan Kochhar, it becomes very clear that only because of the current situation in terms of their focus has only been in ensuring how do we really tackle India. And the only way we can tackle India is just exporting terror. That's where the problem lies. And they still haven't learned the lesson. Just about a few hours ago, we see visuals coming in of Said Salahuddin walking freely in Pakistan.
You see, what has happened is this present state of mess of economy in Pakistan is not a latest phenomenon. This has been happening over the years, and when Imran Khan took over the government, he promised a Naya Pakistan. But I don't think any kind of stringent measures were put in place to rail back the economy. Today, Pakistan needs $20 billion to stabilize its balance of payment crisis. The Pakistan army is the sixth largest in the world, and in the budget of 2022 and 23,
but General Kochhar, what is happening?
Earmarked for Pakistan army.
But General Kochhar, General Kochhar, what is happening is this, that just before I started this show, I was actually going through certain statements that have been made in Pakistan. Such is the condition right now, Imran Jan, if you can also come in, that Pakistan army is now saying that, look here, we cannot even feed our own soldiers. If this current situation goes, you're cutting off electricity at malls, you're saying that we cannot run the embassies properly because most of the embassies, we cannot pay them. So we'll have to go ahead with, cutting down our diplomatic missions. Which way are you really headed? And even if you are aware that you're headed this way, because some Pakistani guests who have been joining us have been saying that we know that this is coming, but we're taking the measures. But look at what the IMF director had to say. I'm just putting it very clear that this is what IMF director says, that we cannot, because taxes are being collected, they're not being fairly distributed. Those who have to pay more, those who have more, they pay more. And the fact of the matter is that there are tough talks which are going on for a bailout with the global lender who's still not willing to give it. They're still not willing to give it. That's the scenario. You may pass a bill because you believe that passing that bill may actually soften the position for the IMF, but that's not the scenario.
So, was a question for me or for who? Okay.
Yes,
so
it was for you, Imran Jan.
It was really sad yesterday when I saw a news where IMF had to remind the government in Pakistan that you need to tax the rich more than you are taxing the poor. The rich have to, it's just common sense, it's morality, and it's also good economics that the rich have to pay more taxes and the poor have to be helped. Having that said, you mentioned something about Pakistan still exporting terrorism and all that. I also in the same newspaper came across another news from India where someone in the government was talking about love jihad, basically saying that they should convert, if any Hindu can convert 10 Muslim girls toward Hinduism, the government will help them, give them money, give them
You know,
jobs,
Imran
give
Jan,
them security.
Imran Jan, it's,
So
you know,
we don't need
no
to
one
export
takes
terrorism
joy.
to you.
Imran
You guys
Jan.
have it enough already.
Imran Jan,
India
let me
is
just tell you
already in a
this.
bad
I think so.
situation,
General Dhruv
not
Katoch
because
can
of
also come in.
Pakistan,
Imran Jan, let me just
because
tell
of
you
your
one
own
small thing.
policies.
Let me just tell you one small thing. You know, you may want to focus. You may continue focusing on what is really happening in India. Please leave us alone. We are one of the fastest growing
There are
economies.
more
We have
hungry
surpassed.
people in India than
We have surpassed
Pakistan. That's why
United
you may
Kingdom.
want
Very
to
soon we are
focus
going
on
to do
India.
that as far as Germany is concerned. No, Imran Jan, when you want to bring in, I understand you're a political analyst from Texas. You understand it's very clear. India's position is very clear, and India's economy is in very safe hands. So don't worry about us. Worry about yourself. While you are in United States of America, so you don't have to really worry about your Pakistani friends and family members there. But the fact of the matter is this. As
Oh,
a country, as a mature country, General Katoch, General, 1 minute, there is a difference.
I don't like these
No,
people.
there is a difference here. We do not take joy in seeing our neighbor
Yes, you do.
almost walking a disastrous path, and it's not good for the subcontinent. No one is taking joy in it, Imran Jan, but the fact of the matter is that unlike
I just want to say one thing.
us,
India's
the
problems
difference
are not
here is
because
that
of
you are
Pakistan
more
or any
concerned
other
about what's
neighboring
happening in our
country.
country.
India's
Trust me,
problems
we're
are
very
because of
capable
India.
of handling
In fact,
ourselves.
other countries' problems are because of
General
India.
Katoch. Now imagine a situation that Imran Jan is now saying that, okay, there is one column somewhere in some nondescript newspaper where if he feels that is the report that we should focus, rather than really focusing when their own people are running behind food trucks just because they want bag of wheat. That is the condition. And problem here is that you do not want to acknowledge that this is the problem for you. General Katoch.
Thank you, Shavan. Unfortunately, I couldn't hear what Imran had said, though I can hear you clearly. And there's the audio is echoing back. Anyway, it's okay now. Shavan, I think primarily the way I look at it is what the problem is that the key stakeholders in Pakistan, most of them have got dual passports. So what happens in Pakistan, they're in a position to get out of the country if push comes to shove and if the situation gets really bad. The stake of being in the country, I'm afraid, is not there amongst key stakeholders. Now, austerity measures have been announced, but austerity measures work only if it is implemented from the top and then it comes downwards. Just to give you an example, in India, when we started, when the Prime Minister said, remove the Lal Batti from the cars, it started with the Prime Minister removing it from his vehicles, and automatically the whole country left it within 24 hours. I think that sort of an example has to be given by the Pakistani leadership if you want to sort of, imbue the country and say, we are passing through a tough time, how do we get out of it? But ultimately, while these measures are good, austerity measures are good, the problem is actually much more structural in nature, and they will have to resolve that. Now, to give you an example, there are three issues which I feel Pakistan needs to address. One is political stability. In my view, I think all the political parties will have to coalesce together under one leader and say, okay, let's go forward. But if you are going to fight amongst the political parties, the situation, you will never be able to get into any form of policy initiatives to reverse the situation. Number two, I think that the direction of Pakistan's foreign policy has to change. In my view, Kashmir has never been the issue. The issue has been fundamentally an ideological issue as to Pakistan is an Islamic state and India is the other. So that structural issue, I think Pakistan has still not been able to address. And I'm afraid unless they actually address that issue, you will always run into trouble. The question is, when you call yourself an Islamic state, you leave out the others. And then when all the others have been left out, within the various sects of Muslims, you start fighting against each other.
You make a mention of the Islamic State.
Sectarian drifts.
General Katoch, I would like to thank you for raising this point. General Katoch, so sorry to interrupt you, but you make a very interesting point. This question of an Islamic state. Now, the fact of the matter is that all this while, the OIC and others that they were talking about, Raja Faisal, I think that you should answer. Why is it that even your so-called allies, part of the OIC, they are also now refusing to really help you? Can you actually imagine a situation whom you were actually piggy-banking on, they are the ones who are now deserting you. Your so-called staunch ally, China, has also left you isolated.
Yeah, first of all, I would agree with General Kotoch. He has rightly pointed out, and I think I really liked the way he put it, the trickle-down effect should start from the very top. I mean, the top leadership, they need to implement the austerity which they have introduced first onto themselves and then later on to the people below them. And if we come towards the OIC, yes, you are very right about it, that our very near neighbors, if we talk about the Middle Eastern countries, the Gulf countries, they have, stopped helping Pakistan, especially when we talk about UAE and Saudi Arabia. In recent past, they were not willing to help. There are certain reasons for that, and them reasons are, of course, if we look at the current politics of Pakistan, of course, Pakistan's politics, the way it is being played right now, there is a fight going on, political fight going on, which is not being liked by the friendly countries as well, because even they are, confused which way to go.
Okay.
Why? Because if we look at Imran Khan's party, of course, it has gathered a lot of support on the ground. And when it comes to the 13 or 14 parties joining hands and becoming PDM,
in fact,
and taking
Raja Faisal, since you speak about Imran Khan, let's also show those latest pictures. No, but the question here is that is Imran Khan really being taken seriously? But the fact of the matter is that they want him to be booted out. This Jail Bharo Andolan, or the movement that was actually started today, it seems that it has also fizzled out. Let me just give one final word to General Kocher. General Kocher, there is some sort of an agreement that somewhere down the line, the civilian government needs to develop some sort of a spine, which is very difficult, which could be unprecedented, historical, if I may say so, because in the history of Pakistan, that has never really happened. But if a country needs to develop, if a country needs to survive, the civilian government needs to develop a spine, because the Pakistani army is actually, look at what General Bajwa is doing. I'm given to understand the latest intelligence reports suggest that General Bajwa seems to be, holidaying in some exotic country while his country is in absolute doldrums. General Kocher, I want to give you the final word. Let's take no joy in seeing this country completely breaking apart. At the end of the day, an unstable Pakistan would also mean difficult times for us or the entire subcontinent. So as a mature nation, no one really wants that to happen. A stable democracy is important. But General Kocher, is there a roadmap? Because at the end of the day, it seems the priorities in Pakistan is completely misplaced.
You're absolutely right. The Pakistani leadership has actually lost its way. The priorities which Pakistan government should actually set themselves have been mislaid. Look at Balochistan. It is one of the most wealthiest states in Pakistan. It has a great potential for minerals, energy, etc. And what is happening there?
General Kocher,
for independence. Yes.
Right, General Kocher, I'm really sorry. We'll have to cut you short. We're getting at some more breaking news, but thank you very